And we are back live and well here in Bulgaria. Sunny Beach. 8 players remaining here at MPN Poker Tour. Main event, 550 euros was the buy-in, and they're playing for 35,000. Hope you didn't go far during our small little break, during which Kat learned a new word. Do you wanna do you wanna go for it?
Repane. I've got no idea what it means.
Repane.
Repane.
Repane is a fox.
A fox.
In Estonian. Fox in Estonian.
F-O-X.
I like the R in that. Brrra.
No, you're far too white for that. Don't do that.
No, I'm white enough that I can do it. Okay, that sounded weird. I didn't mean it
no
anyway.
It's not many things that leave me speechless, Chris, to be honest. But that was
what I meant by it. I'm gonna explain it just to be. But I meant that I will be. I just sound nerdy enough that it just comes up across awkward.
Okay, it comes across as comedy.
Let's just move on to our new blinds, being 20 and 40,000.
And Fomitsa is straight in there, under the gun, ace-jack, opens it up.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. Now, I'm loving Lazarova because she's thinking about it. She was thinking about having a go.
I would have called. I just can't.
Really?
I can't help myself with hands like that.
Call with 8-9 as a mid-stack on a final table.
I know. I want to play. I want to play flops. I want to play flops.
Back me up here. That can't be right, Chris. Really? Is it just you?
Okay,
you're not
maybe
saying it's a good move. It's just something you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well,
that's what I want to do.
If you pay your money, you play your cards how you want. That's the only rule of poker that I think is 100% true.
I agree with you.
No one can comment on how you choose to play the cards that you have paid for with your own hard-earned dollar.
Yeah, you can't say you can't play like that.
No.
You can choose to play however you want, but of course there are ways of playing that are better, if I can say that. But yeah, I'm definitely a fish in that sense that I like to play more hands than usual, especially when I'm out there having fun and not playing for a lot of money.
Yeah, there is that. I do see your point. Hydro bot's back. Stay hydrated, bot. Everyone take a swig. Every time the hydrated bot comes on, you have to have a sip of your drink, whatever you're drinking at this time on a Sunday.
And hydrated bot, yeah. Where is beer bot? I was thinking the same thing. Where is the cocktail pot there?
Beer bot is drunk.
I guess so. He's off somewhere.
Yep.
Sleeping it off.
Yeah, he's messing around with Reddit algorithms because he's sloshed. Poor old Pianga. I don't know, I keep calling him Pianga. I think I just like it. But he really isn't being dealt many cards to tango with. And I hate this so much. It's so bad when you're card dead and you're so close. And you get to a point where you just think, oh, do you know what? Just bust me out then. Just bust me out. Yeah,
it is mentally very challenging to be in that spot. But it being no limit hold'em, and I don't know how experienced he is since he only has one prior cash. But still, I mean, you know that anything it can turn around like any hand. It's just a struggle to wait for that any hand to happen. It's the mind that gets the better of you. Word. And we've got to remember as well in this day and age that I mean, I was playing last night with a young man who initially I thought, oh, this guy's a total noob. He couldn't handle his chips. He didn't really know when the action was on him. He didn't really wasn't able to see how much people had in their stacks. And then he said something that was clearly high-level thinking. And I spoke to him, and it was the first time he'd ever played live. But he's been playing online for 5 years. So the guy's obviously a wizard. Yeah. But if I looked at his caches, his records, it would show nothing, you know? So I think we do have to remember sometimes people, they may only have 1 or 2 live caches, but that's because they put in their hours online. And loads of people are like that now, so... Yeah. So it's really hard to sort of judge people by their collection of flags these days. Definitely that. And my own coach and very good friend who plays the high stakes online, he doesn't have much live experience, and when he does play those huge buy-in events that are like 5Ks and 10Ks, he makes the biggest rookie mistakes ever. Folds in the wrong times, just gives off his chips that way, which doesn't make him a bad player, but he still makes those mistakes, and maybe less experienced players can take advantage of him in a live setting as well. So you never know. And a couple of these players who might not have many live tournament scores, they might be cash game grinders, they might be exactly online players, so you never know, because I haven't seen our P-Anger make mistakes at all. So. No, he's not had much opportunity to, really. That's true as well. Here's an opportunity for Yosifov to put some of his chips in at least, or maybe go crazy with ace-jack offsuit.
Well, it's ugly, isn't it? 20 big blind stack. I mean, given the ICM pressure, it's probably a raise fold, unfortunately, but it still has to be raised, I would say.
It's either a raise fold or a raise shove. You can't, but most likely you're going to raise, you're either going to get called or fold, so you have to open it up with a raise anyway.
Yeah, there's
so
not
that's
been
the
a
easy
lot of
part.
pre-flop action, has there? There's not been too many pre-flop 3-bets, so at this stage, I don't know about you, but I'm quite happy to just take the blinds and antes, really.
Yeah. And the
Exactly
flag,
what
the
happens.
Bulgarian flag, looks very green to me now, at least. So
wait.
I think they've almost fixed the graphics.
Yeah, we've had a team of 7 people during the break working on the
Working
little bit of
hard
green.
on it. There, you should have seen the tension that it was built up. And
yeah, they formed a think tank.
they had like many meetings about it, and finally...
Yeah, memos were passed around. And it's still not green enough. That was the feedback from the focus group that we did. It's still not green enough.
I guess so.
Yeah.
If you are looking to join in the conversation, please join us at twitch.tv/
Thrill of poker.
Exactly, exactly.
You
Look
put
at
me to the spot there.
Yeah,
You were hoping I didn't know that, did you? You were hoping that I'd show myself up. You utter bitch.
I was just checking how aware you are. Of,
Wow, it's lovely when
you
your
just doze off
colleagues
whenever
can-
I speak, maybe.
Oi, oi, Panayotov. I think we have to see this shoved. We're looking at a stack there. What's that? 14 bigs he's got. It needs to go in. Good lads.
It is,
no
and it
messing
does go
about.
in.
Quite hard to call this, really, unless you're the chip lead or second chip lead. If you're a mid stack, you do not like this bet at all.
Not at all. Ace-9, I think it's going to be a fold from
Definitely
Spasa.
has to be with his stack. Oh, yeah, 1.7 million, but he doesn't. I mean, he could probably call closing the action, but I don't think it's wise to call from where he was.
Yeah, and Anger, what do you do now? You have 6 big blinds.
It's horrible.
With one in the middle already.
I think it's probably just going to go in. No,
No,
fair
it's not
enough,
gonna go
fair
in.
enough.
He still
Very
fights,
disciplined.
fights to live another day or another hand.
Wow, that's ugly, isn't it, really?
Well, the good thing for him is after this hand, he still has a whole round to until the next blinds get to him. But the bad thing is he's getting very short.
Yeah.
6 big blinds left, with half of it
Just
going in now.
unpleasant.
Not many chances for a poor little German. I don't know his first name. I just assume it's Philip for some reason. I guess it's just
Is that
because
a common name in Germany?
I know Philip Gruesome is Philip, so I guess maybe
Oh, yeah, okay.
maybe all Germans are Philips.
Maybe it's just P. Maybe he's just
Maybe
a
it is,
German
exactly.
man of mystery.
Yeah, like
And he's
T.J.
just-
Miller. It's
yeah.
like P.
Yeah.
P. Yeah, it is Philip. Wacky
Philip.
Jackson has just confirmed. So
Thanks, Jason.
well,
Always
our
nice to have a pro on board.
yeah, and we are corrected one more time that all Germans with a P starting are Philips. So, Mr. P. Anger.
He is the one to watch. And
He is the one to
kind
watch.
of, my heart's kind of bleeding for him now, really. Like, I'm such a sucker for the underdog. I can't help it, I
Same.
do. You know, I just always want to see the guy who's got the least advantage gain a bit of advantage. And I know people say, if you're commentating, you should be impartial. I am
No.
impartial. It's just that I can't help it. I have a heart.
Yeah.
And I've been in his spot where you're just dead and you've got a short stack and life sucks and ugh.
Yeah, and I think when you're commentating, we're not refereeing anything here,
No,
so we
it's
don't have to
true.
be.
I'm
Yeah.
not the TD. When I was tournament director, I really couldn't have cared less who won. I had no interest whatsoever. I just wanted to make sure the game was run correctly. And now I can't help but feel a little bit emotionally involved with the guys. When I watch them 3, 4, 5 hours at a stretch, they feel a little bit like family, or at least friends.
Yeah, and then we go out and they have no idea who we are, or at least they have no idea who I am, and it's kind of sad. And I'm like, please love me, I love you.
Please love me. Please love me.
Very interesting situation for Nikolov here. He
Yeah,
was
he looked
considering
like he was
shoving
thinking
there.
it, and he recognises it's the ICM coffin effect again.
Yeah.
He's got a tiny stack behind him.
And I love this call from Lazarova. Suited queen, getting
Yeah.
4.5
See,
to
there
1.
I agree with you. You
Oh,
know,
why? Oh,
because
what's the
she's
difference?
got nearly 20 bigs. She's got a suited queen. And it's an easy hand to get away with.
What's the argument you have for having more big blinds behind you?
Because that makes a huge difference. If you're calling from a 10 big blind stack, that's massively different than calling from a 20 big blind stack.
Yes, in a way
and
that
she has 22 bigs.
In a way that how you have to play your hand post flop, but in that sense, what odds you're getting, it doesn't change, does it?
No, I guess not for that hand, but you're playing a tournament, so I think in a tournament each hand is less in isolation, and especially when the ICM pressure is so intense. If she was chip leader, she could raise there, for example. You know, boom.
Okay.
I like her style. She doesn't mess around.
She calls, and
she's done this before though, so it may be a balancing thing where she likes to be a little bit sticky on flops and give her opponents the willies. And he has quite a wide range there, I would say. So I don't hate it. I mean, it looks really loose and dodgy, but I don't hate it.
And I just wanted to say what I've seen from Bostock. He's going to check this through and maybe give a chance for Lazarov to bluff the river, but she doesn't need to bluff anymore.
No.
She hits the straight. Unfortunately for her, she's not going to get paid off.
No. Not at
Only
all.
way to get paid off here is to check and try to represent something like Jack 8 or random 9.
Yeah.
But she's going to go for value instead and get snap fold.
Honestly, I think it's worth betting there on the basis that there might be a lot of bluffing as well on that board. If you want to bluff boards like that, you need to bet it when you have it, I guess. So, and him having checked the turn, it does suggest that he's got a hand. He's like, let me show down this hand, please.
Yeah, exactly.
So I sort of like her bet, to be honest.
And it is an ugly board for sevens. 9, Jack, King, like almost everything hits there. But yeah, it's in-sync flow brings up the nice point there that seat number 3 is randomly holding his chip count in front of the other player.
I'm really glad.
Why?
I'm so glad that In-Sync Flow said that, because that was tilting me so hard.
And
I was trying not to say anything. I was trying not to focus on it because I might actually just have to go out there and move them for him. But yeah, I have seen it, and yeah, it's bothering me as well. Let's just leave the chip count up so I don't have to see it. I don't know how he can do it, and I don't know why the guy sat to his left doesn't say mate.
Come on,
these my chips.
You had so much room there.
Just do you want to hold my hand? Like, what's going on?
Because
he's got to keep it in that. But he can put his chips on the other side.
He doesn't need to keep his chips there. Just put cards in the box.
No, I think we need all the players to shuffle up a little bit, maybe to their left from Bostock rounds.
So weird.
Bostock does have quite impressive biceps. That might be the issue. He needs a little bit of space
maybe it's
either side of those.
Maybe he feels like intimidated and just wants to keep his distance.
Or he might be hoping the guy next to him is going to just roll a few chips that way and he can scoop them up. You never know.
Bostock seems to wow, what happened there? Bostock has opened up his game there.
And he's right.
He's been opening more hands, and maybe he's gotten some like pointers from someone, or just evaluated the situation himself that he can get away with it actually. And he should keep trying and trying, because he picks up 100,000 every time he takes those blinds and antes.
That's big, and what he's doing is killing off the short stack action. I mean, we saw there that Anger had to fold ace-3 off suit. Now, if it folds around to him, he can get it in with ace-3 off suit. So he's putting pressure on these shorter stacks that they just don't want. You know, they really want it to fold around to them, so they've got that open effect.
Yeah,
there is a word for that.
Yeah.
And we haven't even started on the beers yet. First in the pot. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's the problem.
Yes, we're there.
But yeah, I agree that when there is Anger there with 5 big blinds, and Anger is folding aces with his 5 big blinds, especially you should start raising with your large stack, because when you have 5 big blind stack who is folding aces to your raises, and the other players are just waiting for the small stack to go all in.
And as we discussed, the number 5. That's the dodgiest segue ever. We can see there's the 5,000 free roll at the bottom of the screen, the 32. That's it. Never having a career in TV, am I, with links like that?
I love that.
32 red free roll. Put the date in your diary, guys. Bang it in your electronic planner. Get yourself signed up for 32 red. It doesn't matter if you're a member of one of the other rooms on the network. My best advice for using the microgaming network is join every room in order, go around them, and use the first deposit bonus on every single room. That's perfectly legal. You're allowed to do that. You just can't play 2 rooms at the same time. So if you're not a member of 32 Red, get on there, sign up, get a username, and play that free roll, 12th of August, 8 p.m. BST.
And all of these skins have their own separate like bonuses and stuff.
Sure.
I've done it. I think I have almost on every single skin I have my own account. And
yeah, and it's not just for pros, it's for the Recs as well. Everyone, and you've got different levels of bonus for different first deposits. You can basically be getting extra rake back endlessly if you use the different rooms on the microgaming network, and they all have the same tournaments.
Yeah, and if you don't feel like gambling with your money or depositing straight away, you just want to learn or just get some practice in, you can actually, as you can see from the bottom of the screen, you can win money off the free rolls. Well, you don't have 5,000 euro free roll every day, but you have a couple hundred euros given away for free every single day, especially for new players who get like weekly 500 euro free rolls.
Absolutely.
And, so definitely sign up if you haven't done it just yet. Then maybe you can win.
We see some hands here. Poor old Anger. I feel like I might have got that in there, unfortunately.
In my eyes, that is a bit too tight as well. I mean, you have 5 big blinds. At some point, you need to make something happen.
Yeah, and you're getting a great pot now because you have an open and a call. So I mean,
and when you have 5 big blinds there, you open up for Spasov to re-raise, and you get some extra money in there from Bostock as well. But, ooh, that's an action flop. 4, 5, 6, 2 spades, a straight draw, 2 overcards, and a nut flush draw for Spasov, who has a quite large stack, and Bostock with an overpair, and a strong overpair of 10s as well. Spasov checks. I think he wants to check raise this one.
I would agree with you. Definitely. I mean, that would be what I would say is the best play he could make there.
What?
But how's that got checked?
Check. 8 of clubs on a turn. Bostock's still good.
Must bet now, surely.
With his 10s. If I'm Spasov, I'm betting here.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. But he's playing the chip leader with a good stack when there's short stacks all over the show. I mean, I can see why he hates life. He can't fold though. Surely he cannot
no, he's
fold.
definitely
It must
calling
be a check
here.
raise.
I think he's gonna raise.
Well, maybe not.
I would respect it.
He can't fold. It's got to be a call or a raise. Surely he must continue in this pot.
I think Spasov can even represent some 7s, and Bostock can't. I think Bostock is going to bet those 7s almost every time. So Queen of Diamonds means that Rostov kind of avoids another dangerous situation there. Keeps the pot very small.
Yeah, I mean, Bostock would get more value here, I think, if he makes a small bet.
Just checks one more time. Very
gentle.
Tight and gentle play from both of these players. Kind of very soft play from these players. But
I am surprised at how that pot went down. I mean, I do appreciate Spasov's position that he is a middle stack playing a pot out of position to the chip leader. He doesn't want to go crazy. He doesn't want to burn off a load of chips and put himself in a position where now he's a short stack. But in my opinion, my humble opinion, I still feel that was a little bit nitty on the side of both players, actually.
Yeah.
It was like they just did not want to tangle with each other, you know?
Well, I guess they don't, but I can't help myself. Even in that situation where I'm second in chips, against the chip leader, I have 2 overcards, the nut flush draw, the straight draw. I'm barreling there.
Yeah, and still
at
40
least
bigs. I mean, you can afford to lose a little bit of that stack and still not be in the worst position. In fact, not be in much worse a position you are now.
Exactly. You want to build the pot should you actually hit your flush or a straight.
And as we see there, the eventual winner of that pot, had he got his chips in, would have been Anger. As the queen on the river would have given him the best pair. So he's probably a bit tilted now, to be honest.
Yeah. If I'm Anger,
Yeah, I think with the king-queen, I mean, I respect some of his folds that he's made, and I think he's had to make them, but I think with that king-queen, you just have to flick it in and go, I'm getting 5 to 1 here, and I can be a contender if I win
I mean,
this
king-queen plays decent enough.
Yeah, that's it. I think that might have been the first slight misstep, but,
well,
like we say, you pays your money, you plays your cards. Oh, poor old Anger. Can I just go and give him a hug? I'm going to go and give him a hug.
We are streaming with a 30-minute delay, so if you went, you would spoil it for yourself if he's still in there or not. But I guess he's still in there with like 1 big blind stack, still waiting, still looking for the good. Okay, I'm being too rough now.
Yeah, that's why I want to go and give him a hug.
Yeah, I know.
Give him some cat run goods.
Is it a thing?
No.
Do you run good?
No, I run like poo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's a lie. It swings and roundabouts, isn't it? That's the great thing about poker. You can run bad for a bit, and then you run like God. It's great.
True. I don't play enough nowadays to go on those crazy heaters, but I was on a sick heater for like years.
For years.
Then it just like ended.
Years.
Yeah, felt like I had no way of losing for years, and
Do
then
you mean
it just
that
kind of ended.
nobody really knew what they were doing, and now everyone's really good at poker? Is that not what happened?
And also I ran good as well.
Okay,
It's just it was a good good thing for me. Because like yeah.
Well, just pretty standard so far. I was saying, I mean, fair enough. You're always raising small. Oh, a beer's arrived. Thank you very much. With a king, and probably always calling with the queen there. Oh, quite an interesting flop for blind on blinds.
And a straight draw for both of these players. Jacks are ahead. Yosifov raised it up pre-flop. I don't like the raise. I'm gonna say why. I don't mind the raise, but if you raise, I want to see him raise like 3.5 big blinds, maybe even 4 big blinds. Make it very, very difficult for Spasov to play profitably against you in position.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Because I don't like those small raises. You're pretty much opening it up for you to play an inflated pot post-flop with a very ugly-looking hand.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, I'm old school. I started playing poker in the times when 5-6x opens were standard. So I'm very much on board with a slightly larger raise size than most of the kids enjoy today.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that is the meta, at least in higher stakes tournaments as well, that players are at least out of position. They are raising it more than 3x nowadays. Yes, they are raising it less in position, like unopened. You raise it 2 to 2.2x big blind, but out of position, they bump it up big, 3.5, 4 big blinds. Of course, if you're getting folds from your big blinds, there's no reason to do it.
Well, that's it, exactly. I mean, it goes back to what we said earlier. If these guys have played with each other for a while and know or feel they know very confidently their opponent's style, it leads to plays that you don't expect, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if we will see a bluff from King High here, from Yosifov.
400k in the middle, and should we see a bluff? I wonder if
I don't think so, but it's
folds.
No, I don't think Spasov can fold that. But had he been sat there with just a queen, which he probably calls, then he would fold that. You know, he can possibly get away from some of his tens if he'd limp pre with 10-8, 10-6, something like that. You know, these hands that people don't like to give up to small opens from the small.
And speaking of heaters, I mean, Spasov, he was like not long ago, he was all in with his ace-queen against pocket jacks, with ace-queen being dead as well, with 500k, and now he's up to 1.7 million, winning almost every pot he's in, and he looks like a very, very, very strong candidate for good results here.
Yeah, and it proves what you were saying earlier, that sometimes patience pays on the pure fact that it just takes a few hands. You can be down and out, and then, oh my word, I'm chip leader. And it comes from nowhere. And
our third place, Fomitsa from Estonia, we haven't seen almost anything from him. He's been very solid, very tight, very... he hasn't been out of hand at all, and he's always up in there with the chip counts. He kind of manages his chip stack, and it's a tough thing to learn in poker, but chip management is a good thing, you know. I mean, if you're being guarded, you just pick your spots where to steal and just live through it, because it's not easy for him. With the situation being that he's this middling stack and
middling stack out of position to the chip leader is never great fun, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Panayotov with King Jack just folded.
That surprises me from the cutoff. I have to say, like, fair enough, if you're under the gun with his stack, I can see his point, but I feel like I would have just shipped that. Am I right in thinking he's got about 600k? I feel
like 14.5 big blinds. You can even just raise it and just expect not to be played against that often as well. But maybe you don't want to raise into a chip leader.
No, I'd rather ship that. I think,
rather
especially. I hate raise folding out of a 16 big blind stack. It's just ugly.
And that's where anger is like on everybody's mind there. He's in there with 5 big blinds. You don't want to risk your 3x that stack. You just fold it. Just wait for the money jump, because the difference is 3.9, and the next player out gets 3.9, and after that you get like more than 5, I think. So
let me whip out the
it's like 33% increase. Yosif goes for the raise and gets bombed from Bostock with Jack deuce offsuit, and that will work. Exactly. Nice bit of aggression from Bostock here. I love it.
Yes, you were not wrong. Mr. Bostock has woken up.
He has absolutely woken up.
Yeah, so it's 3.9 now, and you're correct, 5.3 for 7th place. So it's not a tiny amount of money, really.
So yeah, it's more than 30% of what you earned already. So you wanna make those pay jumps. And I think we got disconnected from the Twitch chat. So
oh no, sorry.
So if you said something, we're sorry. Yeah, we don't wanna ignore you. We just, you know, we're not technical smart people here. We just don't notice these things. And
to
be
prove
fair,
the point, Kristen, just to let you know, Kristen, he is currently just opening and closing the browser window. Just not even opening and closing, he's just resizing it. Make it small, make it big. Oh, it's definitely going to make a difference. Chris, I mean, I'm a complete techno fool. I don't know anything about computer. Even I know that's not going to work, mate. Like, hey, tell you what.
How do you know?
Blow into the USB ports. That'll probably do it. Can someone send help, please?
Before we started the stream.
Anger. Get your chips in. Get your chips in, P. P's in. P.
Oh, it's going in. Yes.
It was angry as well.
So 4.5 people. Wow, nice wordplay there.
Oh, yes.
4.5 big blinds, ace-9 offsuit, and let's see if he's gonna find a call. I would say more likely than not, he's going to butt with these hands. Bostock might even call here.
I'd be flatting this. Oh, I'd be flatting this and getting what?
And Fomitsa folds. How do you fold there?
Wow, I would be flatting with the 7-8 of clubs and giving the big blind even more value to call and get the guy out. They all want the guy out. I mean, it's one of those situations when you've got 5 big blinds at a poker table, everyone at a final table, everyone else sitting there hates you. Not your personality, not your person, not your soul, but they want you gone.
Yep.
They don't want to see your face. They don't want to see your stack. They want you out. That's nearly 2,000 euros that he's costing them by just sitting there.
Talk about an image he's made from himself. I think that is definitely a mistake from Fomitsa. I think it's just better for yourself even to take the less percentage. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's a lot.
Just to try to get anger out, because you are the one handcuffed by anger here. So you don't want to see him with a short stack in this table.
No, really not.
You want a chance to get him out.
Oh my words! Back to back. Come on, Mr.
Ooh.
Anger. Come on, Mr. Anger.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
Get it in, son.
Booyah.
Boom.
So now he has 7 big blinds. Even more of a fold equity. If you have fold equity with 5 big blinds, something is completely weird.
Yeah, I think the second time in the row, though, it looks suspicious, doesn't it? You think, oh, what, you've just woken up now, and you think you can do it twice. Come on then, buddy.
No hands to call with. And it looks like Anger is going to get back-to-back walks. Well, not walks, but going to take down the blinds and antes, and he's pretty much doubled his stack. From 185,000 to 380K, so.
Wow. So he can now sit tight for another 4 orbits.
Yeah, and may possibly make him some more money by having other players bust, because look at those stacks. We have such small stacks here.
There is trouble.
4 players with 15 big blinds or less. So, I mean, I expect to see a lot of bust outs in the next hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to happen, isn't it?
It must happen. It's just...
yeah, there's what, 280 blinds in play. So, I mean, it is not a high tournament average chip stack at the moment.
Not at all.
People are hanging on. We are still having trouble with, it's my rickety old work laptop that we're actually using for our Twitch chat communications guys. So really sorry, we're not trying to ignore you deliberately. At some point, if we keep sort of crying for help like little sheep on the stream, somebody will come and help us.
I think, it's not a problem. It's not an issue with your computer. It's just, I think the Wi-Fi
is
sucks.
a bit sketchy,
yeah. But we're dealing with it.
Some jackaroos for Yosifov.
Yosifov, I think it's the 3rd time he's had jacks, queens, and jacks. Past times he has just shipped it in. So let's see if he continues just shoving all in. those hands. I would like it, of course.
Yeah, in my opinion, that is the sensible move here.
We see her. We see her, chat.
Ah, Donna, we're back. Hooray.
Hello.
Oh, yes, Donna went for dinner. Hope you enjoyed your scran, Donna. Oh, hello, Ace King. We're going to see a pot here.
Oh, we really?
We must, surely.
Are we going to see an all-in
16 bigs.
and a call? Yes, Basov must call this one. Which means...
I feel like Spazov probably wants to raise here a little bit.
I would go all in if I'm Spazov.
Cool. Okay, yeah.
I mean...
well, 1.7 milli, I mean, what are we on the blinds? Did we say 40k?
20 and 40k.
Probably 40 big blinds might be a big... No, I guess not. With a 16 big blind all in, yeah,
exactly,
fair enough.
There's
Yeah,
720k.
Yeah, get it in.
He just calls. I guess
maybe
he
he's waiting.
just calls and finds Pomitsa with kings. He's shaking his hand. He's like, no.
Oh, it's acting. It's drama.
You think it's
I think it's a bit of
I
acting.
have seen players like that who genuinely they expect the worst all the time, and they really don't want to put it in. And
really? Who are these players?
I don't know. I've seen it happen so many times, especially with new players. I have, in the past few months, I have like taught poker to so many new players in my second job. And all these new players, when they get kings or whatever, they shake their hands. They really don't want to put it in because they put their opponents on the strongest of hands all the single time, and it's so easy to bluff them that way.
But I mean, I understand you don't want to get your chips in with the fight.
No.
No, what RIP is.
Look at that! And Anger finds Ace King as well.
What in the hell?
That would have been such a huge pot for.
How can we?
Dimitri here from Estonia. What is that fold?
I can't believe the fold. There was 30 bigs he had. He had 1.1 million. Is that right? Okay, so 35 bigs. Yikes.
Holy moly.
That can't be a good fold there. I mean, I don't like to... I'm not a poker expert. I don't claim to be a great player, but I cannot believe, guys, that is the right
is
fold.
calling with all his, like, tens, jacks, queens, ace-kings, obviously. Yes, sometimes aces, very rarely aces. I mean, how do you fold your kings there? And what is there even to think about when you're angry? You have 7 big blinds. Of course, yes, only thing to think about is that one player is all in. He might bust.
You haven't got a stack to care about that, unfortunately. I mean, if you've got ace-king in Futsanov's position, so the guy who folded king, sorry, I'm not very good at his name, then I could see. Maybe he can fold ace-king there. I get that.
If there's 3 all-ins
Yeah, with
in front
his
of
stack,
you.
but with 7 big blinds, you absolutely can't fold ace-king here either. But then I say you absolutely can't fold kings in that position, and so someone says, I always fold king if there are 2 people in the pot ahead of me. No, oh lol.
I think
okay,
he's
yeah, that's some
us.
kappa. Yeah, that's fair enough. And no lol here as well.
I cannot believe that Anger is thinking about it, and even more that I cannot believe. No, don't throw them away. I know that in this instance. Wow. Only 2 aces left, and all of the kings are dead.
The production team have been so on it with the cards. I can't believe it's a misread of the cards at all. Like,
and that was the ultimate cooler, and 2 of those players folded. I'm hitting myself if I'm the player with kings here.
Yeah, see, I'm worried about Anger now. Like, his body language there, he sat back and he looked like, oh yes, I made the right decision. And we've got to remember, guys, results are not the key thing. Now, I know it's really easy to say when we're not the ones at the table playing for 35k, but you can't be results oriented. You can't sit back and go, oh, phew, I dodged a bullet. I believe you missed the spot there, Anger. And for Mitza, I'm very confused. I'm very confused.
I'm at awe. I cannot believe the folds we saw.
Maybe it was an error.
But what are you? I mean,
with the cards. I mean. You see what I mean? Maybe a king-queen or something.
But the way he was thinking about it, I think the king-queen was an
easy
insta
fold.
muck.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
There is being careful, and there is being a bit silly.
Yeah.
Nevertheless.
But like we say, and it's the key thing for me in poker, and it's what keeps the game alive. You pays your money, you plays your cards. If you want to jam with 7 deuce and fold kings, that's what you've paid for. So. And
if from Itza, it is his biggest cash ever. You don't want to bust. I guess the money factor just comes in here. You just. But you can't keep on waiting for aces all the time. I feel sorry for him a little bit, but
Mark Frome says, sorry, I'm really struggling to read. So Mark Frompter, I'm really bad at cheerings. He says, unreal play at this table. Mark, mate, I have to agree with you on this one. I mean, actually, the faces. I'm looking at Christian's face. You're actually like biting your nails. Like,
yeah,
what is going on?
I'm sorry.
That was tense, wasn't it? No,
that was very tense.
Yeah, I feel a little bit violated. Yeah.
And as it is, we lose no players. The jacks double up, and
7 big blind stack folds ace king.
Wow, amazing, amazing.
Look at his face now. I mean, that can be really brutal to your psychology, though, with Famitsa, because he must feel a bit wounded there.
He had a legit chance to take out 2 players.
Yeah, bang, bang, and everyone would be getting 7k if he'd called there. Sorry, everyone would be getting at least 7k.
Piano Cat says that he or she always enjoys listening to Cat, so you have
cool.
fans here shamelessly sucking up to you.
Thank you,
and also,
Piano Cat.
Dark Angel says that I love Cat to bits, but she's a bit scary.
Donna can talk. Donna's a feisty woman herself, frankly. Donna and I have had many discussions about how we kick butt in the real world.
Yep.
Yes, I hope to meet Donna. Get yourself to Malta, Donna. I know she's trying to qualify at the moment, so...
Good luck on that. I hope to see you there as well. So 8 players remaining. All the players are guaranteed themselves 3,900 euros. The buy-in was 550. First place is 35,000 euros. My name is Chris. I'm joined by Kat Arnsby, and it's one heck of a poker game. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and that's a fair point there. From Starman, the 39% odds pre-flop for the ace-king made no sense with the king-king already out, and the other ace-king out as well, if we recall. So, yeah, I'm not sure. There could still be a very slim possibility that actually there was some sort of error there, because I would agree with you, ace-king does not have 39%
no way.
against jacks when all the kings are dead and there's only 2 aces left. So,
yeah, closer to half of that.
Yeah, I would. If I had to guess, I'd say you're right. But I do like to use my calculator for these things. You can get on your phone. That's always handy. Oh, baby. Ladies for the lady.
Lazarova finds herself 2 queens against Bostock's Open with ace-4. Nothing wrong with that as well. Ace-4 suited.
I think just a 3-bet here. I mean, I know I keep seeming to change my mind, but it's just the dynamic between these two. She's played him from the blind before. So I would just be 3-betting this, probably to about 8 bigs, something like that.
Lazarova has played fairly straightforward poker as well, and I expect to see a raise as well. Look at that. That's like 600k she's counted out. I don't like that sizing. If she's going to go for that.
It's a little bit too big, perhaps.
No.
Because she can call, so... I think I might have... Oh, she's not raising. That was just counting her stack, perhaps.
Okay. So you like a raise to about...
Yeah, about 7 or 8 bigs, maybe, give or take.
Like that as well?
Because she would be doing that with hands that she might want to get away with, such as ace-jack, ace-10, even something bluffy, like the hand he's holding, you know. Even some suited connectors. Oh, she's gone for the all-in.
All in.
That's unfortunate, because she's given him an easy decision in this case. He can just flick-fold those cards as fast as see them. Whereas if she does a, if you like, in inverted commas, standard size 3-bet, even if he doesn't call, he's definitely in more of a spot to think about it. So, or
at least sometimes see like a punt 4-bet all in from Bostock here, trying to push her around, and then you can snap it off with queens. So try to leave your opponent room to make some mistakes. But she made it easier for herself. She just shoved it, and
no shame in that. I mean, it's perhaps back to an ICM thing. If she just takes the blinds and antes there, she maintains her position at the top end of the middle stacks. And really, I mean, everyone's a middle stack now, apart from Bostock. So
that's true.
Fomitsa, Yosifov, Lazarova, Spazov, they are all in really ugly, blocked-in situations at this point. So no, definitely not a mistake from her there. It's so easy when we can see he's holding ace-4, isn't it?
Of course.
Because if he's got 10s, 9s even maybe, he probably calls her all in. So.
Yeah, you think he's gonna call her all in with 9s or 8s
maybe
or something like that?
Maybe not 9s, but I think probably 10s plus. I mean, it's hard to say.
But when you think he's gonna call with 10s plus, then there are many hands worse hand she's going to get called by.
For an all-in?
Tens and jacks. And ace-king.
No, there aren't many hands. When you shove all in there for, what are we, 40, so, you know, nearly 30 blinds. No, there aren't.
Yeah,
there aren't many worse
obviously.
hands. But you want it all if those worse hands exist.
You do.
And you definitely don't want to see a flop. You know, that's the problem with raising to 8 bigs and then seeing an ace high or a king high flop. Then you're the guy in the bad position.
And that's why I like just raising as well, because those hands that are gonna call you, they're gonna go all in anyway. So you just get to call it off with your queens, and also have some bluffs in there as well. Because if you're gonna lose, put it all in with queens anyway. Might as well leave your opponent some room to make some crazy plays.
Yeah, it's a play I would make, although I've been in her spot, and sometimes you just feel a bit okay, fine, I'm just going to get it in, and actually I'm not going to cry if I just take the raise, because it wasn't just antes and blinds, it was actually his open as well. So.
And it looks like we're going to see a flop heads up, because I don't think Josi Fob is going to fold his 8-7 suited. And Fomitsa with another premium hand.
Yeah, he's
Pocket
picking them up,
for
isn't
him. He's been having a lot of premium hands.
Maybe that's why he folded the kings. I mean, if you know you're just going to get dealt really good hands all the time, then you don't... Oh, Lord. You don't need to.
And
so,
this
gutter.
might be ugly, because, yeah, a cut shot straight draw for Josi Fob and Fomitsa with a top set. And a backdoor flush draw as well. Something like 9 of hearts on a turn. Could be very, very interesting. Check, bet. Is it that 200,000? No, 50K.
50K.
It's a very small bet.
250.
Very, very small bet from the Estonian. And Josi Fob, let's see if he just calls. He does just call, and we see a turn. And should a 6 come on a turn, we have one of those oh my gosh moments. No, 7 of spades, not the prettiest card. But still a pair of 7s for Josi Fob now. Might still feel like he has the better hand. Checks.
Yeah, it's tricky against an opponent like Fomitsa, isn't it? Because we've not seen him make any sort of mental moves up till now. So when he's betting, you kind of have to give him the credit for being pretty strong. That's just purely based on pure player information.
And at the same time, he's betting so small. So you just kind of like you.
He loves the little.
Really new in there. Just milks you for the smallest amounts, and if I have 8-7 there, I think I'm calling again. Because I don't know, I don't want to fold my middle pair with a straight draw.
Some equity, but
exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's the pressure.
It just feels awful. It's just you feel like you're being milked, but there's nothing you can do about it. It would have been much easier to just hit the 6.
Yeah, I mean that's the best advice I can give any new poker player is just smash the board.
Yeah, and cooler your opponents. Jack of diamonds. So should it feel like Fomitsa has something like ace queen, ace king with a spade? He can still call here. Let's see how much.
He can have that, but what's that? I mean, if you're talking ace, king or queen with a spade, then with 6 combos. I mean, it's not really. And then everything else, apart from a pair of 4s, pair of 5s, beats him. And when does he have ace 5? When does he have ace 4? Is he really betting the river with those? So, no, it's definitely getting away with it there.
Fomitsa didn't even think about it, just threw in 250,000, and it seemed like a very easy fold for Josi Fob. So I guess Josi Fob knew exactly that he was behind and just was hoping to hit a 7 or a 6 there.
Yeah, and now Josi Fob is yawning and looking at his watch, which is clearly his way of saying, I'm bored of being not dealt good cards.
Yep. Bostock chill. I don't think we've seen like many chip movements. All the all-ins have been between the shortest stacks or the middling stacks, so we haven't really seen.
No, but I mean, if players are folding pocket kings pre-flop, then action is hard to come by. I mean, if that's the tour manager Rich has just walked in the office as we said that, and his face has just hit the floor. What? Yeah, we're playing pretty tight on this final table, Rich.
Very, very tight final table from a couple of the players at least.
I do think we will start to see a little bit more fluidity once either anger busts or doubles, because then there's a different dynamic. But while he is so short, everyone else is just hammered in, I guess. Not quite hammered in enough to fold kings, in my opinion, but but still pretty hammered in.
Yeah,
Come on,
it must be just a matter of time for a couple of players to. The stacks are so short. It just must happen at some point. You must get coolered.
Yeah. Again, I feel. I mean. Okay,
oh, and that's what I'm talking about.
Action.
Panayotov shoves
slow rolling him.
No, I think you still have player behind you, so you don't want to like make a snap decision and easier for the player behind you. At least that's what I think. That it's not a slow roll as long as you have players to act behind you.
Yep, that's fair enough then.
But no way you're gonna fold.
What?
Yeah, he's going all in.
Right, yeah, sure.
Spasov, let's go, and we might lose Panayotov at 8th place. Should he not hit the ace or the clubs? So the first hand. Or the first player we lost at the final table was ace-8 of clubs against the queens. Now it's ace-7's turn against the queens. That's an awful flop.
Pretty thin, 2 outs
Flush
now.
draw for Yosifov, only 2 outs. And make that 3 outs. Make that 3 outs. Set of queens for Yosifov, but a straight draw. But no, that
Flush
won't do
with
it.
the queens. Okay, well, that was excellent work. Really well played. Eliminated in 8th place for 3,900 beans.
So that means we are 7-handed and all the players have guaranteed themselves 5,300 euros. We have still a couple of very short stacks and the table full of mediocre stacks. So a lot of action still to come.
Here at the P. Anger School of Laddering.
Exactly. And he has laddered up quite significantly, hasn't he?
He's clearly a window cleaner because I have never seen such expert pro levels of laddering. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Window cleaner, you say?
Well, they probably don't use ladders now in the technological
age. Who else
uses
ladders?
Builders, firemen, painters. Thank you, Rich.
And P-Anger.
P-Anger.
And
P-Anger. And P-Anger schools them all.
Exactly. Fomitsa, unsurprisingly, folds his king-7 offsuit over to Nikolov, who might start opening these hands now. 7 players under the gun +1, king-jack offsuit.
Yeah.
I think
then
I'm
into
shoving.
the chip leader with the shot. It's the 7 big blind stack again. I feel like I can read his thought process, and it's, I have okay hand. He has 7 blinds, chip leader, big blind. Oh, fuck my life. That's basically, that was the thought process. And that was my best kind of Russian, Bulgarian accent that I can do.
You did well.
I'm really sorry if I offended any Eastern Europeans with my accent.
Well, it's very hard to offend Eastern Europeans. They wouldn't have understood. They would have been,
that.
Oh, yeah, you're one of us. No.
I found that. Eastern Europeans are very, very good fun. So.
Yeah. Yes, firemen, of course. They use ladders.
Firemen,
I think they use it the most.
Yeah.
Forgot all about firemen.
So, nice hand for Spasov.
Yeah.
And a little bit behind the 10-9 there.
That's
and kind of a nice flop because he's in no respect going to get himself in any trouble. So, check, small bet, fold.
You think it's going to go like that?
Well, surely Bostock has to make a little bet here because he doesn't want any more cards to peel off, really. Once the small blind limps, there's a lot of queens in there, there's a lot of jacks in there, there's a lot of, hands that you really have equity, don't have great equity against. You might be ahead, but you're a bit vulnerable, aren't you? So I like the small bet and I like the fold.
And one more time, you are correct.
I'm getting stick from the producer for not drinking my beer. This is why I love the micro gaming
I have
tour.
already finished mine, and you haven't even taken a
sip. The only way you can get in trouble on this tour is by not getting pissed all the time. Right, I'm going to drink my beer now. I'm going to down my beer. Excuse me, Twitch chat, if you hear me glugging.
Anyway, Twitch chat, we still have the game going on where the best idea or suggestion for a tattoo will get permanently tattooed on Cat's body. So bring in those tattoo ideas, and I will choose the best one, and the winner will get her idea or his idea tattooed permanently on Cat. We have agreed on that. Moving forward.
Yeah, and if you're artistic and you've got a picture, you can tweet that at me at the Poker Baffer on Twitter, so I can have a look at it.
There.
Oh, of my tweet.
Twitter.
Yeah,
you can also follow her.
Yes. you can also donate to my SoundCloud. No, I don't even have a SoundCloud.
Is there even a donate thing on SoundCloud?
I don't know. I don't need SoundCloud. I just shout. You can hear me wherever you are in the world. Oh, he's done it. Finally, Nikolov has just lost his rag with the short stack and has just gone, right, screw you, Anger.
Goes all in with the then 10 big blinds, and let's see if we will find any call list there. If Nikolov gets called, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's going to be in trouble. Ooh, Bostock, that's going to be a fault. This is going to be a fault, unfortunately.
The big blind didn't have it because he probably gets it through if the player on the big blind has the kings. But I don't think Bostock's going to let it
Bostock is going to fold. No, how do you call with kings there?
So unlucky. And I really feel for Nikolov here because he's just been in ICM death row for the last 2 hours, and then he finally just loses his rag with a very viable hand.
He still has about 30%,
equity,
so can still hit an ace or a king now. Ace or king.
Not many kings.
Not many kings.
5
still
outs
6
at the moment.
Or 5 outs, yes. 5 outs on the river, or he has bust. Oh, it looked like a king. It looked like a king. But we do lose Nikolov in 6th place. And our chip leader adds another
7th place,
bounty.
I think that
7th
was. Yeah,
place,
so he's 5,300s. Easy game for Bostock. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm sure we just haven't seen it because he's just had the hands every time. And you know, if you're getting short stacks jamming into you with kings.
Yeah, and you need to be fearless enough to call with the kings as well.
So the fireman is at it again. This could be ladder of the year. What if he can ladder to second place?
P-Hanger has already ladder one more time. So he's up to how much now?
Everyone now is guaranteed €7,000.
That's awesome.
He knows
7K
it. Look at his face.
Yeah, he's the happiest man at the table right now, being the shortest stack.
I wonder if he thinks people can't see him. Maybe he thinks he's got a magic hood, and when he puts it up, he's invisible. He's like, I just keep my hood.
Maybe, yeah. And instead of 3K that he might have gotten, should he be all in, he's now up to 7K. So that's €4,000. 4,000 euros is a lot of money. So
brilliant.
Lazarova folds and Yosifov. Let's see. I want to see him raise that. We're 6-handed now. One player has already folded.
6-handed into the short stack on the big blind, who has proved he really doesn't want to play many hands.
Exactly.
The guy on the small blind probably by this point has exposed himself as someone who doesn't want to play too many hands. So really, he's kind of only fighting against the chip leader because the other mid stack is going to have a monster to play him. So if he raises now, he's only really afraid of the chip leader, I would say. Certainly any kind of light pressure only from the chip leader.
Yeah, these are exactly the hands that you want to start raising with, that have decent enough equity should you get called, and also most of the time you just take it down against, especially when the blinds are as tight as they have been. They have been super tight.
Sure. And I love a 3-bet here from Bostock if it comes.
Same. I would really enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think he's just spot on to do it. Is that just a call?
It looks like 225K.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, he has raised. Super.
Love that raise.
Yep, everybody
Not a big fan of the sizing, but still love it.
It's a little bit small, you think? Is that what you mean?
Just a little bit small, but
okay,
point proven that when it works, then it works. Then
yeah, I suppose risk the minimum because he's got to be so bloody strong to play back at you there once you've 3-bet him from the button with the chip lead, with the, sorry, not just the chip lead, the monster MF chip lead. Yeah.
And P-Anger being still with 6 big blinds only, it's just you can properly bully all the other players right there. And Bostock has done it, and in poker, bullying is the only place where it's acceptable.
Absolutely,
so
bullying with your chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to like give someone a wedgie at the table or flush their head down the toilet in the break. We don't mean like that. Steal their buffet money.
This is something that is only from cartoons or like
Speak
Western films.
Chris, I had a hard childhood. I had many a wedgie.
Wedgie has never been a thing in Eastern Europe, at least.
What?
Never ever have we ever wedged anyone.
Well, you've set yourself up for a fun evening there, Chris. Like yeah, I'm going to wedgie you when you least expect it. I'll give you an atomic wedgie, which is where you pick someone up by the waist of their pants, so it goes right up there.
Look at that. And
Panga!
Mr. Panger.
Panga Queen.
Queen's blind versus blind, and I think he might get called even.
Well, she probably
It's
knows
6
she
big
has to
blinds.
call him so wide.
Lazaro has a suited jack, so it's just it would be sick to get called and see that Anger actually has queens there. Like, he's loving it.
I feel like mathematically she probably should call, but given his action, I might just
fold. She does call. And sees the bad
she doesn't
news.
care. I mean, that's the thing.
She
She's
just
like,
laughs
yeah,
it off.
whatever. Like,
just laughs it off.
This is crazy action.
And let's see.
My heart is torn. That the only girl at the table and the underdog. Which way do I go?
She makes the correct call, and kind of gets jack and a 6 on a flop. Still, an 8 or a queen or running hearts will do it for Anger, but it looks very grim at the moment. But no way, that's the 8. Still,
Panga.
jack or a 6.
Not there.
That's not a jack or a 6, and Anger actually does double up. Kind of hurts for our only female player left, but what can he do? What can he do?
She didn't out wrong there, in my opinion. I mean, you could possibly argue for the fact that he's been such an Ubernit that maybe you can just be exploitative there and get rid of a jack. But she's not to have seen him fold ace-king on the big blind when he was getting 11t to 1 or whatever it was. So
that is a... And Anger still survives. Now 12 big blinds, even more room to wait around and just try to ladder up.
Yeah,
the other players at the table, they must hate it.
They're all smiling. And it's ironic to me that probably the only really happy guy at the table right now's surname is Anger, when actually the rest of them are probably the angry ones. Maybe apart from Bostock, he probably thinks it's quite funny, because it's kind of an advantage to him if the middle stacks give chips to the short stack.
It should be the best case scenario for him.
Yeah. But the other the other 4, probably wishing that he would just Anger off. To be honest,
I'll be honest with you. I would be tilted off my mind. I would be angry at this point. I have nothing against Anger, but if I would be in that situation, I mean, I want to play. I hate the feeling of having to wait for someone else to do things for me. I want to be in control of stuff, and this is exactly where you're not supposed to be in control, and craziness, and well, very, very cool dynamic.
So a little limp there with 9-3.
And I think Yosifov will check as well, and we see a flop from 2 suited hands. Suited kind of crappy hands, but you never know what the flop brings. Flop brings 6-7 and a jack with 2 clubs, so a flush draw for Yosifov in the big blind, as well as the better hand anyway with a queen high.
Yeah, and I mean, in a lot of ways, she might not feel like it is, but actually it's quite a nice flop for Lazarova, because, if the flop comes queen 9 rainbow, she has potential to lose some more money, whereas with this board, in theory, she should be able to just dodge it.
It goes
really
check,
nothing for her.
And Yosifov does hit his flush, but no way to really get anything should Lazarova check here.
No, and I wouldn't even be an advocate of a stab from her, to be honest.
Just nothing. Just give it up.
Yeah,
I agree
check,
in this situation.
Fold, sigh. Oh, she disagrees quite vehemently, clearly.
So if I'm Yosifov, I'm calling here. Just hope that she barrels it. And
I'm looking at my cards and then calling. And hoping the club doesn't come, and hoping there's no club on the river.
The
That's
mind games from Kat, just to make it look like you want to see if you have a club.
Just to check if that club is in there. Because when you sort of fake tank and then just flick your chips in, it's obvious that you know exactly what the suits are.
You know your live reads, don't you?
Do you know, I think that comes from dealing, because sometimes when you do 16-hour dealing stints, it's kind of the only thing you can possibly do to keep your mind alive. I think she's got to give up here on the king. I mean, okay, fair play, a little stab on the turn. I admire her balls, but I think she's got to give up on this king.
But what if she thinks that king is a perfect scare card against like a 6 or deuce that might have called, or maybe something like queen 10? Or
King has showdown value, surely. She's betting kings on the turn.
She's loading up, though.
She's betting a jack on the river here. I mean, I'm not quite sure what hand she's representing. Crazy 2 pairs, I guess. She is in small blind, so she could have 7 deuce. She could have 6-7. She could have 6 deuce, jack 6, jack deuce, I guess. But I don't love it.
Small little bet.
She's done that all the way, though. Like, credit to her. I mean, if that's her style, that's her style. If she keeps the small bets when she's raw bluff and nuts, I don't hate that either. I prefer bigger bets, but If that's her style.
She did bet very similar size with a king 3, where she flopped 2 pair
That's
as well.
what I mean. Yeah, she pretty much keeps herself within that size range, and it may or may not be the best strategy. I am no expert, but I like it rather than I'm going to bet massive when I've got something and tiny when I'm bluffing. She certainly isn't doing that.
I guess that bet is just designed to get rid of some flush draws that call the turn, like queen highs or.
Sure.
And she's gonna get raised up to 300,000, and Lazarova now knows that the deal is up.
I love her style, though. I mean, it's not in this particular pot with these cards in that spot. It's not how I would have played it. But I have to respect someone who isn't quitting, you know, who isn't just going, oh, I haven't flopped a massive hand, I'm done. I don't have a massive hand pre-flop, I'm not going to play. And at this stage as well, when the money's big and there's a short stack, 2 short stacks. At the start of this hand, there were 2 short stacks in her. I respect it.
Well played from both players, I guess. And yeah, I guess Lazarova just knew that there was no way she would have won this hand should he not bet. So she tried to take a little stab at it. Didn't work out this time.
No.
But you never know. Should her opponent have something exactly that she was trying to get rid of, it would have been a brilliant play. And maybe she gets some 6s to fold as well.
Yeah, I think for me, I do prefer the bets with a little bit more equity, even if it's very thin equity. So 1 club in her hand, even a low club, you know, some kind of straight draw.
Something to fall back on.
Just a little bit of equity. I think in the long run, it makes it, if not profitable, a less losing bet.
I'm getting a live read. Bostock has pocket 6s. I think the Estonian has a good hand. Never mind.
Well, he did fold kings.
Never
so
mind.
Okay, no.
He has the crappiest of hands with 5 deuce. But yeah,
Hello,
Dark Angel.
she has been rewarded.
Ooh.
Sorry to cut you off talking to Donna there. I just saw my girl with the aces, and I got a bit.
Let's see how she decides to play that one. That is gonna be different. Interesting. So is she just gonna call and try to get some shoves? But which I wouldn't like, actually. Just raising looks super strong as well.
She hasn't done that, though, has she, before? She hasn't jammed all in, so it would look...
Everything looks kind of strong.
Yeah.
But I think out of the options, calling or shoving are the best ones. I don't think she can just raise. That looks way too strong. And she might even get caught by 6s here.
I do see your point. Given the previous hand, I do think sometimes it looks a bit tilty if you're just kind of flicking a weird little raise when you've just lost a pot. But of course, sorry, it was a 3-bet. Yeah, for me, okay, sorry, I forgot about the open from Bostock, so yeah, sorry.
Bostock did open it up.
That's probably her only move, actually, with 20 bigs. So, fair play. She has to do that.
Yeah, because I don't think that Bostock is going to get light reshoves from the blinds anyway, so there's no real reason to just call here. So just shove it in, and I think the Bostock, I think he's going to end up folding it, but he might even call. There's like a small chance that he does call here, considering the money in the middle, but no.
For 20 bigs, I think it's a big call, really, with 6s, because...
You don't need to gamble. You just maintain your chip lead and try to win chips other ways.
It's a simplistic interpretation, but when I open with sort of midweek pairs early, even as a chip leader, when a shorty ships on you, you are in a situation where simplistically you can just say, I'm racing at best. I mean, there's just no way she's doing it with deuces to 5s.
I agree.
So it's 6s plus, 7s plus, or ace king, ace queen, maybe in a push. Even ace jack, ace 10 suited, she's been a bit light and aggressive, possibly. But even then, you know, when you're racing against someone's bluffing range, that's shitty, really. Even if you say she's gone hyper aggro and she's doing it with 9-10 suited, you're still racing against the bottom of their bluffing range, which is, it's a horrible spot to be in, even if you are the chip leader.
Absolutely.
For 10 bigs, he can call it. He has to call it, but for 20, he can get away.
And you want to maintain your massive chip lead and just try to open it up and get pots that way. And blinds have gone up to 25,000 and 50,000 now.
Boom,
so
boom. So a million chips is 20 bigs.
Stacks are even shallower now. Yusifo with queen jack on the button and 34 big blinds for him. He will definitely open it up. Let's see what sizing he's gonna go for. Just a standard 2 big blinds. Yep, 100,000 from him, and Bostock with ace 4. Would expect to see a call here, as he does.
Nice quick call, not messing a boot.
And we see a flop heads up from a couple of our bigger stacks. And that is not a good flop from Yosifov. Just because Bostock doesn't have many aces that he calls there with. Yes, he has some. And that's such a dry board that Yosifov can or should c-bet.
I was surprised not to see a c-bet. I was drinking my beer at the time because Richard was giving me the stink eye. But I was a little bit surprised not to see a c-bet there.
Just check through to the river, and Bostock is the one betting. And if I'm Yosifov, what am I doing? Am I calling here now? I would have liked to just see a bet on the flop and just give it up should I get called.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you are in a spot now because so many hands have to bluff the river that sometimes queen high's good.
And he does call.
And I don't think it's a terrible call. It's just unfortunate. I think he saves himself a lot of heartache there if he just bets the flop, as you say. It costs him the same amount of money, and he's got 2 more cards to realise equity, having a better scope of his position in the hand. So,
I must agree with you there. Yeah, I think just the times you take to pot down, just c-betting there, and you want to c-bet your aces and 8s anyway. So. You need to c-bet those dry boards.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that because I find it quite hard to get my head around. There's a lot of ideas at the moment. People to me are sometimes over tricky. So they flop decent hands that in a lot of ways are vulnerable, but they flop decent hands. They're like, oh well, now I'm going to check and wait for my opponent to bet, and it's kind of like, well, sometimes you just have to play a bit honestly. So yes, I agree. He's c-betting his aces. He's c-betting his 8s. He's c-betting his kings, queens. You know, so he can therefore c-bet things like queen jack. I mean, I see maybe a bit more equity if he had a backdoor flush draw or something like that, but I would have preferred to see the same amount as a c-bet, and then he has a better idea going forward.
But having played the hand the way he did, yeah, I don't blame him for calling the river.
No, I agree with you. I think it was he was kind of backed into a spot there.
So Lazarova with 8-7 and grabbing some chips.
I love this girl.
Tricky.
I love this girl because she looks so sweet with her colourful hair and her funky clothes, and actually she's a bit of a demon. I wouldn't fancy playing her.
No, wait.
Yeah,
no, she did raise it. Yosifov, I think, let go of his 10-8 suited. So does Spasov and
here we
Bostock.
Go. Muscles gets the muscle again.
Is that all in? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all in for him, really, is it?
Just ships it with Fomitsa with 34 big blinds after him.
She loved that. Yeah, great raise. Could you not have done that when I had aces, you goon? God damn.
Jason, yes, please. The commentators would appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. Or at least one of them. I don't know about Kat, though.
Right, fine. I'm drinking my beer. Honestly, it's peer pressure to do drugs in here.
And Dark Angel, I didn't get a chance to answer you, but yes, I am a complete tilt monkey. This has been my biggest league my whole poker career, and I'm very much aware of it. I don't care. I like to be a tilt monkey. I never get angry, but I get tilted. There's a big difference to me, at least.
Cool. Shall we play heads up later?
Yeah.
Can I have a cocktail?
I think we still have
I'll drink a cocktail better than a beer. I'm a lady. I don't drink these boy drinks. Put them in beers. Yuck. Yeah, 2 beers for Christian, and I'll have something fruity in a glass with an umbrella.
Ooh.
See, you want one of those now I've said it, don't you? See?
That sounds kind of nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, beers. Boo. And Bostock with ace-queen suit the next hand. I mean, it's very difficult. I feel for him. He's getting no cards. He's got no
poor
chips.
Dude has to just make it work somehow.
Yeah.
But it sucks for him because you are expected to raise all the weaker hands anyway, so if you don't get any action with the strong hands, it's just, come on, this is the perfect time for me.
He's even showing them now. I mean, he's got to the stage where he's been hit by their deck so hard that he has to show his opponents and say, look, really.
So P-Anger down to 8 big blinds now. It's been a story of P-Anger in a way. It's a story of Bostock, Fomitsa folding kings, and P-Anger just laddering.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit unsure about that king's hand. I've got a few pro friends who are really, really clever. I'm going to run this one by them later, get them to do some maths on it, because I'd love to find out that actually it's the spot on correct fold. And they're like, obviously it's fold, Kat. Obviously it's a fold. And there's, you know. because I just can't get my head around it. And I feel like if that is the correct fold,
nah, this is a mistake
poker's
for
in
sure.
trouble.
100%.
Poker's in trouble, because how can we say to rec players you should be folding kings there when it's the second best starting hand you can
I don't
possibly
think
have?
you should ever be folding kings, especially
Cool.
against like a 10 big blind shove and a call. But well, yes, you should. So, have you ever folded kings pre-flop?
Yes, but only in satellites.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, and that is fair enough. I think it's different.
Sometimes
really,
you just know that player like doesn't do it, but that's not when they just go all in for 10 big blinds.
Yeah.
Sometimes you know that if there's a super recreational player 5-betting you all in very comfortably,
for 200 bigs or 300 bigs pre-flop, then
I would
maybe
still
that
call.
situation.
I would still call, and then tell later on I knew you had aces.
Yeah.
But the times I have.
Yeah,
busted.
I mean, maybe if there's just an open chip under the gun from 500 bigs, I might say, well, this is a big tourney. I actually don't need to get involved hand one of level one, and maybe then you can fold kings. I kind of see that. But given the stack sizes, I don't think anyone at that point could have got away from kings when the average stack at the table is 25 bigs.
And another huge hand played very slow for Fomitsa. Just calls with queens. Very tricky. And he plays his strong hands. I thought that it was tricky, but maybe it's just very careful. Just wait for a very safe flop and then go from there. 4-7-10 looks like a safe flop.
Yeah, it does look like a safe flop. The problem is if you keep letting people in too cheap when you have premium hands, or not being...
At some point.
Yeah, not being difficult. The trouble with playing passively is it feels like it's secure and safe, but actually the flip side may also be true, because you are putting yourself in a situation where you are not difficult to play against. The more aggressive and the more raisy someone is, the harder they are to navigate at a poker table. If someone is passive and they are calling more than they are raising, even if they have the best hand, in the long run, they are a better opponent to play against than someone who never has a good hand but is hyper-aggressive.
I agree, because when you're being aggressive, you're in the hands of your own fate. You are the one leading, you are the one putting your opponent in tough positions, but when you're playing super passive, you're just kind of not hoping but relying on your opponents to do the thing for you, and it's just it's very much easier to counter that thing.
Yeah.
Of course, there are spots where you have to be passive, and there are spots where you have to be aggressive. You can't just be mindlessly aggressive.
No.
Which is my biggest issue.
Yeah, I would definitely lean towards that side of the spectrum. I would say I'm aggressive needlessly sometimes. So I wouldn't recommend Fomitsa like take lessons from me. That's not what I'm saying. But I am very surprised at the way he's played some of his premium hands.
But he does take this one down. But and you have to remember that players don't get that many premium hands. He has been running like God, and I think someone in his position, to be very fair here, would have made a lot more happen with the cards he's been getting. Yes, he's been maintaining a stack, but when you're getting hit in the face the way he is, you are supposed to you're supposed to go on a giant tear and increase your stack and just massively make things happen.
If he keeps on the form he is, then he's going to end up heads up against a person who's got 75% of the chips in play. He's going to go heads up at a 3-1 dog.
If he's ever going to make it heads up, because at some point you're not going to get those premium hands, and you're going to get just blinded out. And
that is true. But, I mean, maybe that is his overall strategy. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are players who get to a final table and advocate for just kind of laddering as much as possible and then trying to play an opponent heads up starting at a chip disadvantage. Maybe he's a wizard of a heads-up player. So for him...
Might be.
That's what he's aiming for. There could be an element that neither you or I understand because it's not our style. It's not our preferred way of playing the game. So...
Yeah, definitely. And there might be many things. Maybe he needs 10,000 euros by today.
Yeah.
And this is the best way for him to make it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's so many things. I don't think that he's in trouble or anything. You know,
No.
I'm not saying that there's like mafia after him.
It would be a good story, that though, wouldn't it?
But if I was in a situation where I need 10,000 euros by today, then I would be playing the way
differently. Yeah,
differently. I wouldn't go for the 35k because I would try to secure myself that 10k.
That's a good point.
Which of 7k he has secured to himself already.
And we're still looking at the back of P. Anger's hoodie.
He's not going anywhere.
I can't. He may just be glued to the seat at this point. He might be my new favourite player in the world.
I kind of love it. I don't want to see him. I would feel empty without him.
There would be an emotion missing.
Spasov, Lazarova with 15 big blinds, so very short stacked. Especially six-handed where the chips are, the blinds are gonna come by so often. Not to talk about Anger here with 7 big blinds. So
And she's tried. I mean, Lazarova has tried to evict
Yeah, she
Anger
has
from
been-
this tournament. She's called him as light as she possibly could.
she's been throwing punches. I like the way Lazarova plays.
I do.
I'm a big fan.
Yep.
I think we have a couple players who have shown themselves more capable than... well, maybe they've had more situations to show their ability, but I very much like our British friend, Borak.
Bostock.
Bostock. I'm already forgetting.
Ooh.
Thank you.
The second round of drinks has arrived.
Yes, and I'm already feeling way more energized.
They're queuing up. I don't see any umbrellas though, Rich. We've got a new tour manager for the MPNPT. It used to be a lovely lady called Clodagh Hansen. She would have brought me an umbrella. I'm just saying. Oh, some shades. Okay.
And we're still six-handed. All the players have guaranteed themselves 7,000 euros. As I've said already, they're playing for 35,000 euros. The stacks are getting very shallow, so I expect to see a lot more action this level. I think we're going to see 2 players bust this level. How was your drink, by the way, Kat?
It might be a bit strong, actually.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have noticed that.
Ooh, that's put some
If
hairs
you
on my
didn't see
chest.
that, that was a big cringe on her face.
That was a very, very potent vodka and orange. I could probably take some paint off the walls with that.
Yes, Anger. Ace Queen suited for him.
Anger.
7.5 big blinds. This is going to go in. And let's
Rage
see
jam.
if one of the 2 players is going to pass
hello,
now.
come
Ooh,
on,
Yosifov.
We've got to see a call from 7. I know in fact, we probably have to see a shove here. Is he a 15 big blind stack? He is. I mean, I like a shove here. Because
For 35 big blinds.
no one can call him. No, he has
Who are you talking to?
15 bigs.
Who?
Yosifov.
Yosifov had 1.3 million.
Blinds of 50K.
Oh, yeah, so he
Yeah,
has
he's got
26 big blinds.
Yeah, sorry.
But
yeah,
still,
1.4,
in that sense, yeah, I would like a shove as well.
No, I mean, again, with Jack 9, I think I'm probably calling 7 bigs there. It's got such good equity against the kind of hands he's shoving with.
But I guess the players
surprised.
have seen how tight Anger has played, and he has
Yeah.
definitely built himself an image. He's getting way more folds than you should with the stack that you have.
Yes, I think that's the issue I have there. Ah, yes, sorry, Spazov has 15 big blinds, which is also a pretty good poker name, I might add.
Spazov.
Yeah.
Spazov. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's basically my style, yeah.
I never thought about it that way, but yeah, it is. Now I'm looking at the names with it, trying to find those different word plays. Lazarova. Okay, laser.
She has got laser eyes. She's got a right vicious poker stare. I love it.
She
The way
does.
she looked at Anger when he shoved all in. I mean, I'm surprised his head just didn't melt.
Yeah. She has a very, very intense glare.
She's looking a bit world-weary now, and I understand why. I mean, she's got aces, she's got no action. She's tried a couple of moves and run into a monster and a hand that really couldn't pass to her. So I do feel for her, because she's getting a bit worn down, and I don't think she's really done anything wrong. I mean, you could say the Jack-6 call was mildly questionable, but I fully understand why she did it, and I support it, and I'd have done it myself, so...
I would have done the same thing, and I very much love the race from Bostock here. Against 2 of the tightest players at your table, you're the chip leader. It's just freaking free money
Christmas.
you have to pick up.
This guy's just drawn Christmas. He came to the table as chip leader. He's playing against guys who are folding kings pre. I mean,
yeah, think about it. You're the chip leader, massive chip leader. You have 2 of the not the 2 of the shortest, but 2 of the tightest players to your left. It's Christmas.
and you're getting smashed in the head with the deck. So all things considered, this is Bostock Day. I think from now on.
I don't think Bostock has ran that well. He made that
Really?
one call with queens, but I think I have seen him.
Kings. He's had kings. I mean, okay, he had to lay the kings down. He made a good lay down, but I mean, these are nice. Come on,
the kings were against aces.
How long have you played 5-6 hours of poker and not seen a pair or an ace?
True that.
Ace
Yeah, I agree.
off?
But compared to other players, I don't think he's run better than the other players. I think the final table in general has seen way more premiums than on average.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, and yeah.
But he's made it happen, and he's up to 4.5 million now, I think.
Well, we might see Lazarov get a walk here, which it's not that I'm not impartial. I just feel like, given her, she's worked hard, she's played hard, and it's nice sometimes when you've had a little bit of action that didn't go your way. Everyone just deserves a walk occasionally. Look at that. Look at that lovely smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a beautiful smile, but just don't look at her poker face because your will melt. Laser eyes. I love her hair as well, for the record. I know it's a really girly thing. We'll just have like 10 girly seconds.
What do you think about her dress?
I love her hair. Yeah, I think it's actually a trouser suit.
Is it?
So it's super funky, yeah. I love her style. And actually, I've seen her the last couple of days. She's got a sick wardrobe, I'm telling you. I've seen some of her clothes, and I love it. I would love to have a go on her wardrobe and dress up.
She caught my eye as well. I didn't know she's going to make the final table or who she was, but I definitely remember her from being around.
That's okay. Girly moment over, everyone. We can go back to talking about poker now. We just had to get that little
we have to get it out.
In there.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Trouser suit is something I learned is a thing now.
Really? You did?
Well, I didn't know how to name it. Okay. I knew it was a
I see. Right.
Pajamas is what I call it.
No, she's not wearing her pajamas. She's wearing a very classy trouser suit.
Yes, very classy trouser suit.
Pajamas, you cheeky git.
Well,
he's got yellow shorts on. Just for the record, he's got yellow shorts on, like a 1970s Boy Scout, and he's calling our female players beautiful outfit pajamas. Lazarov,
well, I don't want to be rude.
Come in here and kick his butt, Lazarov. I will hold him.
Bastak comes in with another aggressive raise, gets a dominating hand to fold, and takes down. I love this. This is where Bastak is gonna, I think, chip up real big.
We have to eat our words a little bit, don't we? We were saying he was being a little bit nitty earlier for
he
the
has
chip
definitely
lead,
changed it up after our small break. And especially once we've lost a couple of players, he's been more comfortable with raising. And look at that, 91 big blinds. Second place has 35 big blinds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can pretty much double up the second place and still be almost the chip leader.
Yeah, not far off. Still second.
It's still second.
Yeah, I think it is Bostock Day. 8th of July will hereafter be known as Bostock Day.
So who do you think are going to play heads up?
I'm going to have to say one of them is Bostock.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, come on, really? And if you put a gun to my head, I'm going to say Anger, because no one seems to be able to eliminate.
No way. That would be so awesome. That would be awesome if Anger actually made heads up.
I feel like everyone else is just going to plow out like lemmings, and he'll just be laddering, and he'll make heads up with one big blind.
Okay, I'm gonna make a guess here as well. I still think that Anger is gonna be the next player out.
Okay.
After which we're gonna lose Lazarova. After which we're gonna lose the players according to the seating.
So you're just going on chip stacks, basically.
I think seat 1 is gonna go bust. Then seat 3. Then it's either gonna be the Estonian or the seat 5.
Alrighty then.
Yosifov.
Yeah. Well, you're just going for chip stacks, aren't you?
Oh, almost, because Spasov has less than Yosifov. Spasov has like 680k, but Spasov seems like the strongest player, at least to me, up until this point. At least I've
Don't look back in anger. Oh, Wacky Jackson, you wacky man. I heard you say.
Oh, we have
get the whole lyrics.
Yeah.
He's got a theme tune. I'm telling you now, a guy with a theme tune can't be beat. That's the rule. He's officially got a theme tune.
So Anger is going to be at least heads up. Most likely going to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start heads up with a 97-1 chip disadvantage. and then peel it back.
I'm trying to remember if I know like those crazy stories that people have come back from the heads ups. There have been those. I think like Phil Hellmuth won one of his titles being down.
Really?
Like 50 to 1 at least or something.
Wow, that's a ludicrously deep heads up, isn't it? Well, yeah, Twitch chat, if you've got any stories, let us know. You know, have you had any major spin-ups? We want to hear about them.
I think it was Phil Hellmuth against Doug Polk, where Doug Polk had like 30 or 40 to 1 chip advantage and somehow managed to lose.
Oh, I like the way the chat have gone a bit girly, following our girly chat. So the Piano Cat saying, not a style I could ever carry off, but looks fantastic on Lazarova. Yeah, I agree. She certainly has her own style. No one can copy that. Oh, and Mark likes girly talk is not distracting to me. Well, get involved. You don't have to be a female to enjoy girly talk. That is definitely true.
Story of my life. It's just always part of it and enjoying it.
Yeah, girly talk's great fun. So for Mitza, we're going to see a raise here.
We're going to see a raise, and I like this. I was kind of expecting him to fold.
Oh, come on.
I
know we're saying rag ace is six-handed, but ace-10 under the gun even, please, come on.
Ooh, Wacky Jackson won his first tournament with 5 chips. I don't know what that translates into. Did you start with 100 or 1,000? But 5 chips seems like
that is quite the spin.
Not a lot of chips. And for Mitza, raises it and takes down the blinds and antes, and he still has like 2 million chips. He's been chipping up.
He's just quietly grinding. I mean, yeah.
A little bit of role play from Mark as well, as he buys you another drink.
Oh, I've got a cue now, Mark. It's getting scary, and I really am a lightweight. I mean, I hang with the lads, and I'm a bit of a lad myself, but when it comes to drinking, I am a terrible lightweight. I can have about 2 or 3 drinks before I think everything's funny, and then about 2 or 3 more before I fall asleep. So,
so there's like this nice middle ground.
Oh yeah. I'm quite a good laugh after 3 drinks. I'm a nightmare after 6.
Wow, Wacky Jackson! I didn't know you final tabled Sunday 500. That's I think that's the toughest tournament to final table.
That is, yeah. Any of those 500s,
these
stake online. I mean, for me, 500 in live events is a field I'm okay with. I'm not going to say I'm the best player in those fields. I'm not, but I would say I'm definitely in the top, at least 40%. In a 500 field online on any network, I'm in trouble. Like, I'm bottom 10%.
I think most of everybody is going to be in trouble with those. I think a lot of those regulars, like very super strong players, are not winning players there just because the fields are just massively tough.
It is so
which is not the case with live 500s.
No.
And I think you're being way too modest if you say you're top 40%. I think you're definitely a crusher.
Well, that's really nice of you. I would say, what I would say is I don't really have the sample size of playing live fields at 500s buy-ins to comment.
And blind versus blind, Postok raises it up to 2.5 big blinds, and Estonian just folds it. Fomitsa just folds it in position.
I have to say that's too tight.
Yeah, King 10 is a very strong hand heads up.
That's sometimes a 3-betting hand for me, especially against a chip leader who has been quite aggressive. I mean, we could see it might not have been the best spot to do it, but I feel like that, yeah, it's too tight. Minimum a call there. That is a pot that, in my mind, should be continued there. At the end of the day, you're the second biggest stack at this table.
I would kind of be fist pumping and just being happy that I can play in position with a quite strong hand and just go from there. It doesn't mean you have to go bust every time post flop, but you have all the options. You are the one in position. You are the one controlling the action.
To be honest, I feel like we've seen a little bit of a weird dynamic and some weird action between those 2 players, Bostock and Fositov. See? Oh, my goodness. Half a vodka and orange, and I can't even say my own name. So there has been some weird dynamics there. So maybe they have a history from earlier parts of the tournament that we're not privy to.
It's always a possibility, which doesn't make the play still better. I mean, King 10 is still King 10, blind versus blind.
No, I see what you mean. What I would say is that sometimes exploitation becomes far more important than GTO play when you know so much about that person. I mean, the fold from Kings at the beginning, from Bostock, I thought that was a bit unusual. You know, it was a bit. He seemed to find that a little bit easy, and then the fold off a cold fold of Kings pre-flop from Fomitsa. Again, against Bostock being involved in the pot, it all just seemed a bit weird. There's something going on there that I think we haven't got an insight in.
It might actually be because, you know, it was a correct fold in a way that that Bostock actually did have during this. Bostock did have a better hand, and Kat, meanwhile, just actually had a large umbrella brought to her, like
it's a
proper full-size umbrella that she has placed into her drink.
I'm taking a picture of it
have been
now.
taking a turn.
I will put
I
that
don't know if
picture
it's
on
for the
Twitter
best, but
with the hashtag MPNPT. So have a look on Twitter if you would like to see how the levels of inimitable professionalism that are happening here in the comms booth today in Bulgaria.
So hashtag MPNPT, just check it out. It was weird. I don't know how to feel about it, but I love it.
Yeah. We may be going off the rails. I've done comms for other brands. They don't let you drink, but it's crazy stuff.
They don't bring you big umbrellas.
They don't bring us it's crazy times. But it does, to be fair to us, in my mind, it reflects the whole attitude of this tour. This is a super fun tour.
This is why I've been partnered with many companies, and I've been doing commentary for a while now as well.
Sick, bro.
And this is why MPN is my I don't know, is my absolute favorite stop every single time. I feel like family here.
Yeah, I feel the same, and I've only been involved for a couple of years, not even 2 years. And I've made some great friends here from all over the place, all different ages.
Meanwhile, we haven't all in.
Hello.
Sorry.
Sorry, we're so busy talking about how much we love the tour.
Anger is going to double up one more time. That's just something that was expected to happen. Anger is going to double up, and Lazaro, unfortunately, one more time has to double him up.
Oh, my girl.
And they're both now kind of short stacked. Lazaro is our shortest stack. Anger is fourth in chips. He's crushing it.
What's happening? Have we slipped into a parallel universe where sense no longer exists? I feel for Lazarova.
How many times can you actually double up?
I'm a survivor.
He's a complete survivor, and I'm starting to believe more and more that we will see Anger heads up. It's just I don't see any way he can lose. He cannot lose.
Crazy.
I don't even want him to lose. I don't want anyone to lose.
Well, I've swapped now. I mean, I always root for the underdog. So now that Lazarova is the short stack at the table, she's now my pick. And I'm seeing in the chat there's quite a big love for Lazarova. So we're sending it to you now.
Yeah, and now it's Lazarova's turn to actually get lucky, and as long as this final table keeps on going, Kat still gets her vodka oranges with big umbrellas, and we get to have a lot of fun. So the longer it goes, the better for everybody. So
well, Mark says that the streams are more fun when the commentators drink. Well, in which case, I suspect this stream is about to get really, really fun.
Yeah, it just took a turn for the more fun.
Yeah.
You will very soon. You will actually get Jason Glazer, Wacky Jackson to come to the booth as well.
Wacky.
Mr. Wacky. So expect for that to happen, and more interesting dynamics. And Boston raises it up with Queen 9 offsuit. I think he's gonna get just folds. Yeah. Unless Yosifov calls with his Queen 7, which I would expect him to do. So Bostock actually manages to find a hand he dominates.
Yeah, you don't expect when you get a call, you don't really expect to be dominated
with Queen 9 offsuit.
With Queen 9 offsuit, no.
We do see a call though, and the flop is wow. That's an interesting flop. Jack 8-8, which means a flush draw for Yosifov and a straight draw, and still a better hand for Rostock with his Queen 9 kicker. 255,000 in the middle. Let's see if Rostock bets here. I expect
like
him to bet.
C-bet. Yeah, just is that? Oh no, just 75, or is that 100?
75,000.
Yeah, I like the sizing. Why get crazy?
So
I quite like a raise here.
Yeah, I think that's the second. At least there has been instances where we both agree would be a perfect time to raise, but the call does pay out.
Well, to me, it doesn't so much because he can't get paid. I mean, he can.
Well, we can see the cards, but
yeah, but against Bostock's range, if he raises there and gets a call and then hits his flush, he can get it all in. And now, really,
Bostock is loading up, drawing dead with his Queen 9.
150.
Red Queen 9, 250. It looks like
250.
He wants to just. He wants to get. I guess he wants to get rid of Yosifov's ace highs with let's say something like ace 9 with a 9 of clubs, and
again, it's
Queen 10s, 10 9s. just tries to bomb it and take it down right now. Of course, it's very difficult for his opponent to have these hands because he blocks all of these hands.
Yeah, I'm not a mad fan of the turn bet, actually.
Me neither, me neither.
I would, because you still have an opportunity to realise a bit of equity. He might think, I mean, we can see he's dead, but like you say, against aces, rag jacks.
But now I want to see a shove. I want to see Postok put... yes, I can see that Yosifov will snap call it, but most of Yosifov's range is going to be jacks here. Jacks, or maybe something like King 10 with a King of clubs.
Do you think? You see, I think the call on the flop opens him up to having quite a few...
Boom.
Oh, you...
He goes all in, and Yosifov will snap him off. And this is the first... This is the first huge bump to Bostock stack. No way. He's not... No. He's not considering folding here.
I can't. I'm clinging on to Christian like we're about to fall out of a boat. This has got to count as a slow roll. I mean, I appreciate it's a paired board, but really, there's the power of the move. I mean, you said you love to see it.
If he's thinking about if he's thinking about like actually agonizing about calling with a queen high flush, which is the toppest of his range.
It really is.
Means that he's definitely folding his jacks and maybe even an eight, which would be awful.
Yeah, which absolutely validates the bet. I mean,
this is why I like the bet, but I don't like. It's unfortunate for Bostock, but I really like the shove.
Yeah, I'm just a bit gobsmacked at the speed of call. I mean, is he really considering folding this?
I mean, I think every single time he will end up calling.
Okay, it's just thinking it through.
I don't know if it's even thinking it through. It's just kind of like not even saving face, but just trying to get used to the idea that should I use, but. I think he has already figured it out that he's gonna call.
Yeah,
and that is like almost always the case. It's not, you're not gonna fold. What are you thinking about it?
I mean,
he's trying to come to minds with the fact that should he lose, he will lose.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, prior to Bostock's jam, he had a pot-sized stack. His Yosifov stack was the size of the pot. So I mean, he really can't believe he was getting away from this very often.
There is just no way that he folds.
No.
If he folds, everything I know about poker is wrong. But as much as I haven't played much live poker, but in my mind he has already made it up in his mind that he's gonna call, and he's just taking his time to do it. Wow. Just posturing a little bit.
Fair play to Bostock. It's not a play I would have made, but then I wouldn't have bet the turn either. So I guess flop bet, turn bet, river jam it makes sense.
What do you think, chat?
Yeah.
Does anybody think that he's going to actually fold? Do you think he's going to actually fold?
Well, I feel like he already should have called doubled up and we'd be on to
well,
the next
definitely.
hand. So
he checks.
I've got no clue what the guy's doing.
That's the reason you check. You don't check to like hope to check it down and be good. You check it to get bluffs
exactly what happens, yeah. Which I didn't think was going to happen. I really didn't. I didn't think Bostock would do it.
If I'm Bostock and I have an 8, I'm shoving there. I might even shove some like queens, kings, and aces as well. Try to get calls from jacks.
Yeah, sure. There's no way.
There's no way he will
fold. Come on.
If he folds, then there is something.
And I feel like when he does call, Bostock's going to be like, mate, did you just monster slow roll me? Like, he's not even telling.
He does call. No, wait. Did he say that he did call? Yeah, I think he called.
He puts chips over. Yeah, he definitely called. Yeah, he puts chips over the line. That would 100% be a call.
Thugstyle69 thinks that obviously he can fold. Can you elaborate? What do you mean? Like,
yeah, help us out.
Yes, there are hands that you lose against, but you can't only put hands that you lose against on your opponent's ranges.
Maybe he just means he can in a most literal sense. If he wants to, he can fold.
Of course.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, there's no way. If he didn't like it, he absolutely could fold, and respect to him. But I would have been a little confused. I feel like now he's justifying. I wonder if Spazov is kind of querying, why did that take you so long? Like, what were you doing? What were you thinking there? Because he was kind of in a justification pose there of trying to explain his thought process.
If I'm Postok, I have no idea how to take this one. If I should like be upset that I just got slow rolled, or be happy that people are giving me that much credit and it just continue on pedal to the metal.
Yeah,
because if people are like really considering folding hands like that, then even more merit to continue just playing super aggressive at this final table. He's not very happy at this moment. Yeah, you saw that smirk.
Yeah.
And
he's biting his lip.
Yeah, he's not the happiest dude at this moment,
and
but
fair
still.
play to him actually, because I definitely kind of call that a slow roll. Maybe maybe I'm just too loose. But.
Just think it through and realize that the players are playing to the best of their ability, trying to make the best decisions, and the fact that the player actually was thinking about it that long. We don't know. Maybe he doesn't have that much experience, and he was actually considering folding.
Yeah, maybe. I think Thug Styles explained his reasoning quite well there. So, looking at his body language, what you were saying there, Thug Style, is that he has it in him to fold that. And
so what you meant is he was genuinely thinking about it, not trying to slow roll there.
So anyone who can think about it can obviously eventually fold, I guess. So yeah, it's fair enough.
So I guess it was a nit roll instead of a slow roll.
Yeah, just, a little bit of a nit roll, but we've all done it.
We've all done it. I've done it as well.
I mean, if he has 2 million there, I feel his pain actually, but.
Having the way it had gone, I mean, that's exactly what you hope for your opponent to do.
Yeah, it's what I feel like, yeah. See, Bostock for the first time we've seen him get up and stretch his legs, which is often a sign that players are a little bit pissed off.
Lazarova has put it in, and Yosifov now now it's an easy all-in for him. He does reshove with his King 10, and Lazarova is still ahead with his Ace High, but King 10 has 51%, the machine says us. I find it hard to believe, but maybe some aces are dead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there is an ace, the Ace 4.
Oh, wow.
Hello, that is sweaty.
Queen, Jack, 6
there we go,
of
Lazarov.
clubs. But no, Lazarov has Ace of clubs, so she doubles up with his Ace Deuce and the King of clubs. Nuts versus second nuts.
Go on,
sick
girl.
Cooler, sick cooler.
Go on, girl.
And she did get the Karansby run good.
There you go.
We said we're going to give it to her.
I always will for the underdog, whoever they are.
And these are the weirdest swings. You can be down to 6 big blinds and then double up and then be at the 4th place.
I don't know how much of this I can take, Chris. I mean, my heart rate is like up to 180.
That's
I'm
crazy,
just sitting
isn't it?
here. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm really overexcited. It's just all over the place.
Meanwhile, there's Anga just being invisible as he is, just laddering and just don't notice me. I'm just here sometimes.
I've got my magic hood on. You cannot see me climbing the ladder.
Is that your German accent?
He's German. The German. I am climbing the ladder. Yes. I'm not very good at German.
That was pretty good.
I spent a lot of time in my sad, lonely life doing accents. When you've got no one to talk to because you're single, right? You just talk to yourself in different accents. It makes you feel like you've got loads of friends. It's great. Watch out for the Germans. The Germans are coming. They're coming really quietly, though. They're sneaking up the ladder.
I'm crying. I'm literally crying.
So I'm sorry I made you cry, my friend.
It's all good. It's all good. It's been folded around to Yosifov, who folds as well. Spazov from the small blind.
Definitely not spazzing off today.
Not at all.
I feel for him as well. I feel like he's played really well. He's
definitely played very well.
Yeah, he's dodged a lot of spots. He's put his money in the right spot, and you can look at that frustration, and he knows it. And he knows that 2 of the players to his right now, Lazarov and Anga, should be gone, and he should have more money in the bank and be able to ship a lot lighter than he is.
As well as there is, I'm sure, a little bit of at least a little bit of arrogance there. He knows that had he more chips, he would at least try and crush this final table. He has seen like a couple of the smaller or bigger mistakes that the players have made, and he feels like there's nothing he can do about it, and that's a tough place to be at.
I would agree. I do feel for him. It's just been a very emotional final table. Now, I appreciate we've had a beer and you get more involved, but I feel the emotional swings of the players.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do. But still, 6 players left. We are many hours into this final table, and the players are just struggling to bust others and to bust themselves.
You can see Mark Spur there in the background. That's the MPN PT photographer. And he's definitely my friend, this event, because he's managed to take a photo of me and Photoshop out a big spot I had on my chin. So I was super happy with
I
him.
saw the photo and I loved it. That was a beautiful photo.
So Link Silver is asking us how you play this tournament. Good question. You satellite in via any one of the microgaming sites that
Can you name it too?
Redbet,
Redbet,
Betson, BetSafe, Nordic Bet, 32 Red, and I'm really sorry if I've missed anyone. You can find the full list by going to mpnpt.com. You'll see all about the upcoming events, all the rules, all what you get in the package, all the details. And then you can join any of those sites and play those satellites starting at 55 cents. The very first package satellite for the Battle of Malta event, which is the 26th to the 30th of October this year, that is today. The feeders are running right now. They run all the time. Some of them are flipped, so you can even register for those flip tournaments while you go off to work and do whatever you like and get ready. So get involved. You've got ages to qualify. It's a nice long qualifying period, so you can grind up from very small buy-ins. My advice, as always my advice with the Microgaming Network, is to join a room, take the deposit bonus, and then once you've cleared it, go to the next room and take theirs. We're a big family. Lazarova's going to be all in here, I think, Chris.
That was a lot of
Diamonds,
information from you. Good job. I have to say that was a very well done. But Lazarova, she does go all in with her ace king, and let's see if she finds any callers there. Doesn't look like it, does it?
She's king still the underdog.
No,
well,
Fomitsa is not going to call.
No.
Yeah, Fomitsa is never going to call here.
Of course not. Come on, Panga can't get it in with 8-5 off now. Another nice little pot for Lazarova. I think that may just chip her now from not being bottom stack anymore. She may have just crept over Spazov there.
I think she's up to 1 million now, which should be 20 big blinds. So I think there's like 2 players who have less. Anger has less, I would expect. And our player at seat 7, whose name I cannot recall at this moment, with a red shirt, he has about 500,000 in chips, so she's doing fine.
Spazov with the red shirt.
Spazov, yes.
Somebody's typing to us. Do you recognise that language, Chris? Because I don't. We don't have a problem with different languages, just we can't read them. So Reloaded 91. English or Estonian is all we can speak.
They're saying Ivka Machkai, which I have no idea what does it mean.
Oh, but you can read the words, but you don't know. Oh, Thagstal, Yud, Iv, Tak, Machka, Inasha.
I learned alphabets of Cyrillic, but I still don't know how. What do that mean? Yeah.
Okay, Yosifov raising under the gun with King Jack of Spades. I like it. It's a fairly knitted table.
Folds 4s now from the button. Being fairly deep as well. I think they're like 40 big blinds effective, so I would have liked to see a call or a raise, even with a 4s, with the image you have. But I guess you can't like start expecting things.
Hi, Chubby Buddha. Good afternoon. Make sure you've got a drink. We're drinking cocktails this afternoon. If you don't drink alcohol, get yourself a virgin cocktail. You
should see the table in front of Kat. She has like gathered a lot of drinks in front of her. There's 2 cocktails. There's a half-drinking beer, 2 bottles of water. Just like she's just taking everything.
It's the hydration bot. I took the advice to heart, and I'm hydrating the hell out of myself.
We haven't heard anything from the hydration bot for a while.
No, they've been very quiet. Looking at the bottom of the screen there, guys, you will see exclusive fish party challenges. That's available on Betson, BetSafe, and Nordic Bet rooms on the Microgaming Network. I can't actually tell you the exact details of those off the top of my head because I'm not sure of them, but they're all good brands, and I'll be fairly confident that any promo they've banged on is worth a punt. So join up to one of those rooms, get the deposit bonus, move on to the next one. I'm really selling that idea for microgaming because I think it works.
You are doing a good job on that. Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, I'm not allowed to play on the network, but if I was, that is exactly what I would be doing. And it's fully it's not. You don't even have to be sneaky about it. It's not like it's a trick or you're cheating anyone. That is just one of the benefits of having a network with that model where we all have different brands and we all have different budgets. So you may as well take maximum advantage of the fact that we are a little bit in competition with each other. So. Yeah,
MPN is the only network. It sounds like I'm being paid to say that, but it is the only network I play at. So
well, it's the only network with that particular model at the moment, as I understand it. where we're very openly a group of competitors kind of working together. It's a very weird model.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, but
and it has its advantages for players. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot of advantages for players. In that sense that you have to like give out bonuses or
she's back in the game.
Promotions.
So are we going to just see a little open? No, she's going
she's
for
gonna
it. Good
go
girl.
all in.
Yeah, I like that better actually because she has to fold.
Same here.
So now she can just jam a race and just not worry about it. I love the way he's looking. I don't think he's calling there with Jack-8.
He's cheeky little look. And
yeah.
Like a small smirk.
Yeah. Well, we did just see
That
him sort of
very
nit roll for ages with Queen 7, so that might be quite scary.
Mm-hmm.
Now when he looks at your stack, you're not going to think, oh, he's going to fold. So
3 players with less than 20 big blinds, and then we have 3 players who have kind of run away.
Yeah, Bostock took that unfortunate hit, but he's still the man.
Still the man. Spazov with 10 big blinds and Anger with 11 big blinds. Anger has been sporting the small stack since the start of this final table. I don't think he's ever been more than 13 big blinds. At one point he was down to 4 big blinds, so what a grind it has been for him. And Spazov, I don't think he's had any hands to play with, proper ones.
Not really.
Lost a couple of all-ins, and there he is.
So in sync flow, you say you look like you missed a slow roll. I can't actually remember the exact hand dynamics, but we were talking essentially about Bostock playing quite aggressively and running a 3-street bluff, unfortunately into the turned flush of Yosifov, who then took quite an excessive amount of time to call with his queen high flush. We were looking at a paired board. There was 2 8s on the flop. It was an 8-8 jack flop with 2 clubs. The flush was made on the turn, and then a huge river bet from Bostock to put his opponent all in, who then tanked. We kind of reached the opinion it was more of a nit roll than a slow roll. We don't think Yosifov was being...
There wasn't anything malicious about it.
He doesn't look like the sort, does he?
He was genuinely thinking about it, is my impression of the situation. But it's still... it's a nit roll, at least.
But I think Bostock took it very well, actually. Fair play to him. He had a little walk around, and he kind of clenched his jaw, and he moved on from it. We haven't seen much from Famitsa in a while.
No. Famitsa has been playing tight this whole day, and I guess he hasn't had any monster hands to play with. So I expect Famitsa to be the quietest player at this table.
Yeah.
Should he have a large stack or a small stack? So
yeah, I would agree with you there.
Famitsa, I think he's figured out a style of play he is comfortable playing with, and he's going to stick with it. And it's been working for him.
J4M51, the buy-in for this tournament is €550, and the payouts for the top 6. Everyone is currently guaranteed €7,000, 9,000 for 5th, 12.5k for 4th, 17k for 3rd, 22k for 2nd, and 35k for the winner. So
quite a lot of money to still be played for 7k guaranteed, and the difference between first and second place is quite large as well, 13,000. So kind of like a top-heavy payout, which makes it even more likely for someone to try and actually go for the win. And,
yeah, sure.
We've only seen one player really try to bully other players with their chips, and that is our UK chip leader.
This has got to go in, Anger. Come on now, my friends.
Let's see if he agrees with you. A little bit less than
11 bigs.
11 bigs. You're under the gun, but you have ace-10.
No.
No.
Wow.
Anger continues to
Laddery,
survive.
laddery,
Just
laddery,
ladder. It hasn't been much laddering as of late, though.
But psychologically, I guess you might get to a point where you think, my God, this is working for me. You know, and human nature is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I am kind of wondering if he's just, he now feels he's sort of invincible, and that whenever he gets his 4 bigs in, he's going to double or triple up, which is a bloody dangerous mindset at this stage of a tourney. I think we can agree that should have been all in.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And he looked like he didn't really want to fold it, and he was kind of like thinking about it still. Should I have folded it or not?
Hello. Okay, so Famitsa, the folder of kings pre-flop, has decided to call a raise and then just
look at that. Bostock just soul raise him.
Wow.
Just floats him with 8-4.
And now Bostock surely has to bet this turn after that float. What?
And
really?
Bostock is calling to take it down on the river.
On the river,
just
okay,
to see that if Fomitsa puts 2 barrels in. Yeah, boom.
Yeah, sweet.
But that is a soul read if I've ever seen one. Just because, look at that.
Sick.
He doesn't even need to put it in. Because Fomitsa hasn't shown any tendencies to bluff.
But he was.
But still.
I mean, I think we have to admit
You were
now,
onto something that these two have some...
they've been tangoing. I mean,
and
it happens. Sometimes you just get this crazy situation with table draws where you are sat next to the same player, then you move tables and they're opposite you, and then you move tables and then they're on the other side of you. So if they've ended up playing, by which point today they could have feasibly ended up playing up to like 20 hours of poker together before they even started this final table. Because there's some weird ass action between these two boys.
With you. There have been very weird things going on.
I'm a bit lost. I mean, I don't know about you, Chris, but I feel like the meta game between these two is just beyond my ken. I don't know what's happening.
Can't wrap my finger around Bostock just calling and floating there to take it down on the river. I get the play, and I think it's a decent play at some point, but you need to be very much aware of what your opponent does.
And how does he do that when he's not
he hasn't done it for hours. He hasn't given any reason.
That's the first bit of action we've seen,
and he
came
gets
out of nowhere.
snapped, called, floated by 8 high.
Yeah,
that is absolutely amazing. And Spazov finally finds a hand to go all in with, and Fomitsa's gonna fold. Oh wait, never mind. He's gonna call.
Wow, Christian's in bitch mode.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And this is, I feel sorry. I feel kind of sorry for Spazov.
Yeah, I do. He hasn't deserved.
He's been waiting.
And he's played the hands he's had well, and I don't think he's deserved the action he's received on this final table.
Ace, he can still hit an 8-jack, but it doesn't look good for him.
No.
Doesn't hold a spade.
A 9 or a 10 for a bit more. Oh, we see a little bit more juice.
So 9 or a check on the river. Oh, we see Spazov spaz it off on 6th place.
Unlucky.
So he does. Nothing he did wrong there. Just couldn't get anything much going.
Really well played, Spazov. That was very unfortunate. And congratulations on excellent play and taking home €7,000 from today's 550 buy-in tournament.
Not a bad payday for sure. That was my guess for someone at least heads up or 3rd place. So we see him leave in 6th place, and 5 players remaining, and who else is in there but P. Anger. The Mr. Ladder himself has made it to 5th place at least. 5th place gets how much? Can you
I certainly
recall?
can. 5th place gets exactly, and I'm fully recalling this from memory, not bringing it up on my phone so I can see it, €9,000.
€9,000. So we're getting into some big pay champs there.
We certainly are. And the ladder of life continues with Mr. Philip Anger. The window cleaner is officially his poker name. I mean, I've never seen a ladder like this.
If you want to learn what ICM means, just watch this final table and watch what P. Anger does. It just ladders and makes money by...
You see, I'm not sure that's right, because part of a cunning ICM strategy is also getting your money in spots where you need to. And we have seen him fold at points that it should be in. So...
It is, it's an exaggerated example, but still...
a good ICM strategy doesn't necessarily include nit folding to 4 big blinds and then hoping for the best, I have to say, so...
Okay, maybe I worded it wrong.
Yeah.
But if you want to, maybe if you want to see a short stack warrior or something like that, you want to see...
Yeah, like
That's a story of survival, and only 5 players remaining. All of a sudden...
We're down to 5 players, and everyone at this table is guaranteed €9,000. 4th place will take 12.5. 3rd place will take 17,000. 2nd place will take 22,000, and your winner is going to take 35k today. So Dan Jones DJ in the chat, he's not super impressed with the standard of this play. Well, the thing is, Dan Jones, let's point out it's a €500 tourney where a large chunk of the field are satellite qualifiers. I don't think anyone in this field particularly holds himself up and says, I'm the best player in the world. This is a low-stakes tour. It's a fun holiday vibe. I mean, I don't think we try and sell it like you're going to see.
This is what we are actually going for, and this is what the players... Ooh, we might see Anger get called here by Bostock.
Yeah,
he does get called.
It's getting called.
Is it going to happen? You think it's going to happen? Now we're going to lose Pianger.
I'll be bereft. I don't know what the world doesn't make sense when he's gone.
It doesn't make sense that Pianger will lose this one, but Pianger is the one who needs to hit.
Oh,
and that is a hit. That is the 5th time Pianger has doubled up. Well, it's not over yet.
It isn't over yet. Only a 9. 2 outs in the deck for poor old
needs a
Bostock.
9 and a 9 only.
And
Boom.
it's not there.
And it's not there.
Pianger
and
showing
one
how it's
more time, Pianger doubles up. Still hasn't broken the 1 million chip line, but he's still in there. He doubles up and is in 4th place now.
And you can see Lazarova's face. She's smiling, but it's not the same natural, beautiful smile we saw before. It's a smile that's more like a grimace. And I dread to think what she's looking at him, and I can't imagine the obscenities that are flying through her mind right now.
Oh, yeah. And then Jones says that based on the action, you will come to Malta. And of course, that's the best part of it. I mean, you can... I think, as you said, all of these players are either semi-professionals, like recreationals who love poker, and
there's
just
a very
love
few pros knocking about
love
in
to
this
have
tour.
fun, and that's just lovely. I love the fact that it's not too trying to take itself too seriously.
No, I love it. It's great fun, and I'm not saying there's not a place for really serious, deep stack, hardcore thinking poker. There is. But this just isn't it. That's just not what we are at MPN PT. We are fun, we are holiday, we are having a laugh. We're about paying your money and playing your cards how you damn well want to play your cards. And if you're a top pro, on the long run, you are probably going to have very good results in these fields. Yep. If you're a recreational, you're going to have a laugh.
And you
hello.
always have a chance.
Flat from Bostock.
Ooh. He flats against Famitsa, plays it tricky. Famitsa checks behind. And this is the last hand before the break. 4, 7, 8 of 2 hearts on the flop. So Famitsa, it's a little bit of something. 2 overcards.
I expect to see a call here from Famitsa after just a limp.
Yeah. No.
I don't love the fold there. He's got an over. He's got backdoors.
Famitsa has made it a rule for himself to the opposite. Whenever we say we expect something to happen, he's not going to make that happen.
That is so true. That is so true.